I'm live. Why am I live? Why do I usually go live? I go live because I'm in an electric car charging, and I'm waiting for it to get up to a decent percentage. So I've got a bit of time to kill. There's a man over there just come. I'm in the Morrison's car park in Queensbury, and a man has just unloaded his shopping into a Porsche Cayman, which is parked next to a BMW i8. What do you guys think of the BMW i8? So we are sitting in a Polestar 4. Polestar 4, a review of this car will be coming very soon, so stay tuned for that. It's got 544 brake horsepower. It'll do 0 to 62 miles per hour in 3.7 seconds. It is very, very quick. Interesting, I note actually that here in Morrison's, because I've been here before, and they used to have these Genie Point chargers, but they've got rid of the Genie Point chargers. These are not Genie Point anymore. These are, what are they? I have no idea what they are. What are they? They are EV Power. EV Power by MFG, Motor Fuel Group. Motor Fuel Group. That's interesting. Motor Fuel Group. I've got EV Power. And these are a bit better because these are sort of the you know, just a contactless pay touch sort of thing. The Genie Point ones used to be a bit of a hassle because I don't know if they changed them now or they changed them later or whatever. People are joining. Hello, Guy. Hey, Jakey, how you doing? Burhan Butt, number 12. Ollie Cole, 82. How you all doing? So I'm sitting here in the Morrison's car park in Queensbury, charging the Polestar 4, just observing life around me. I'm sitting in the Polestar 4, and I'm charging it. And I just plugged it in. It was at 31%. It's going back to Morris. I want to get up to a decent percentage so that I can hand it back. So 37% already. And we'll see how long this takes. And look at the world go by around us. Because that's all you can do. You plug in your electric car and then you sit in the car and then you wait. I mean, I could go, I suppose, for a coffee or something, but I don't need a coffee right now. I've had this for a few days. Pretty much, I haven't charged it so far actually. I pretty much drained it down to 30%, 31% or so, I think it was. And it's going back tomorrow, and I figured, you know, I should put some charge into it before I hand it back. It's up to 38% now. Charging power 48 kilowatts. At 38%, it's saying a range of 142 miles. You know, it's been actually quite accurate, this car. Hello to Zayshan. It's actually been quite accurate, this car, in terms of its predicted range and the actual range that it's delivered. I took it out for a very long run yesterday. Did around 100 miles in the car yesterday. And I lost pretty much 100 miles on the range. So actually it was, you know, despite the fact that some of that was motorway, and motorway is where normally with electric cars, that's when it really skews things, when things really go off, you know, where the estimates don't work. Because the estimates are usually related to sort of city driving and urban driving, where actually you can actually get better than what it's telling you because of all the stop-go. Although to be fair, although I did a lot of miles yesterday, and I did do some motorway miles, and I did eventually find some fast roads as well. But most of that time, it was just villages and traffic. So it was actually slow going. So we didn't actually get up to that much speed, really, I suppose. Even so, like I said, I mean, there was a fair bit of motorway stuff, and it still remained fairly accurate in terms of its range prediction. So that's quite good. So I wonder if that is just to do with this one. Hello to Huxley Automotive. I wonder if that is just to do with this one, or is to do with generally EVs getting a little bit better in terms of actually predicting their mileages and giving you a truer account of how many miles you can go, rather than the sort of make-believe that we've had in some cars of past, in some EVs of recent years. So this one, this is a Polestar 4, by the way, and yeah, so far it's been quite accurate. So what do you think of the Polestar? Oh, look at that. That is a Grand Cherokee. Those are so rare. That's an SRT Grand Cherokee. That is a beast of a thing. In the UK, I mean, you don't see those. An SRT. A Hemi Grand Cherokee. In red. Looks the boss. It's one of my favorite cars. I really like those. I drove quite a few of them, even the standard ones and of course the SRT ones. Drove quite a few of them in the Middle East, in Dubai. And definitely amongst my very favorite cars, for sure. Just the craziness of them, a Jeep, a family Jeep that has stupendous V8 power from a massive Hemi engine. Sitting in an EV and having eyes for V8s. You're quite right. You are so right, I mean, at the end of the day, right, there's part of you that pines for a big, noisy, rowdy, dirty, great V8, right? That's what you want. And, I have to say, I gotta be honest. I mean, as good, as competent as this Polestar is, it'll go back tomorrow, and by the weekend I'll have forgotten all about it. And yeah, I just saw that Grand Cherokee SRT go past, and it immediately reignited memories, of driving those cars around, of chasing down sports cars in a family SUV. Hello to Reza, who's just joined. Yeah, I'm just down the road from you, mate. Just sitting in a Queensbury in the Morrison's car park, charging a Polestar 4 and reminiscing about driving V8s in the desert. That's what it's come to. But yeah, I mean, to be honest, in terms of, this is the thing. I mean, this car that I'm sitting in right now, do you want to be in the video? You serious? Really? 0.2 V8 into a Defender. We all love a V8. Oh man, that would be a lot of fun. That would be a lot of fun. I would enjoy it. Hello there.
A brown car guy. Brown car guy.
Now, to make this more interesting for your audience,
You look like you're wearing a hat, but you're not.
I know.
That's so weird.
To make this more interesting for your audience, if you're driving down the road, you could physically drive past, and I could show people on the video. That's how close he was driving by. But unfortunately, you wouldn't want to be seen dead driving around in a Polestar.
Well, I'm sitting in a Polestar. I'm being seen in a Polestar. If you want to see me, I'm sitting in the Morrison's car park right now at 42% charge, waiting for that to go
You're
up.
charging up.
I'm charging. I'm
How's
not
it going
driving
for
around.
you? Do you prefer this,
drive.
or do you prefer the BMW EC3, EFG, ABCD, HIJK?
You mean my old BMW?
Which one? Which car do you? Obviously, you long for that, right? So I'm being.
I do.
I'm being ironic here.
I do miss it.
I thought I'd give you company because
I
it
drive
can't
that
be.
any
It
day of
can't
the
be.
week.
It can't be nice sitting in a Morrison's car park in an electric car, charging it up with people looking at you, and not having something to do. That's why I thought.
Well, this is the thing. Well, nobody's looking at it, and it's a good-looking car. I mean, it's a handsome car. But,
Yeah.
I'm looking around, and like I said, a Porsche Cayman just drove off. There was a BMW i8 there earlier. So there's more interesting cars in the car park, and nobody's really paying any attention to the Polestar.
Having said that, the Polestar is quite. I think the Polestar. I don't know why I'm saying this. The Polestar is actually not a bad-looking car, in my opinion.
No, you're right. It's actually a very sleek, very handsome car. I don't really like the fact that they've got rid of the, as you can see, if you look behind me, there is no rear window, which I still think is a bit. I'm not really getting on with it. And instead, what you get is this digital
Yeah, but
One is
this is a generational thing. After 3 or 4 years, when every car it's sort of like a sort of a culture change kind of thing. Yeah, you'll begin to appreciate it, right? Especially at your age. But
But this is the thing. So this mirror here, I mean, they say, right, this is the highest def, best one that they've got. And to be fair, it is really good. It is really crisp. But I have a problem. I do have a problem. Because I'm wearing varifocals, right? So I'm wearing varifocals. So to see distance,
yeah,
I see out the top of my lens here
but you have
to
to
see
do that.
distance.
You have to do that
Yeah.
too.
So to use this mirror up here, I'm driving along and I'm going like that, right?
I
I can
think
see the
you
screens
know
down
what?
here.
I'll tell you. There's one car I took a ride with you in. I think it was about 4 years ago now. The electric one, the Honda.
Hello to Saad. Hi, Saad. The Honda E, the little Honda E.
Now my
Yeah,
recollection, only because you're in the vicinity, and that was we drove this around here.
we did. Yeah,
That, in a good way, it was disconcertingly quite cozy and comfy.
it was
We
nice.
even, but the only problem with that car, which remains now, are these cameras.
Yeah.
You know the side. You know how the side
Well,
cameras
that
and
well that well that one took it to the next step because that one didn't even have mirrors on the side. This one at least has side mirrors, but the Honda E didn't even have side
yeah.
mirrors. It
So
just
so
had little
the
cameras.
point. No, the point I'm coming to is this is superfluous technology that no one needs.
Well, exactly my point. You see, I mean, you see there, you can see behind me there is a sloping roof line,
Right.
right?
And the
And
right.
they've actually put a panel in there to block it out. It's like, well, why didn't you just put a window there? You know, why not just give the option of there being, even if it's a slot, even
So
if it's just a small window, why not just put it in there?
at a
Because as you
slightly
know,
insidious.
being of a certain generation, the way that we learn to drive. So say you're on the motorway, right? Say I'm driving on the motorway,
You
which I was
glance.
yesterday.
You just glance.
And you want to change lane. You don't rely. You glance over your shoulder. I glance over my shoulder. All I see is blackness. You know, I don't see behind me.
So I think the insidious nature of this is to prep people for self-driving cars and not be able to
Yeah,
drive. So
yeah,
the desensitization process over X number of years,
yeah.
like, oh, you can't see out the back, you can't see. You're relying on cameras. You might as well just
You are.
rely. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're
And
relying on beeps and the thing is the steering is trying to fight you because the steering is deciding that it wants to do the steering,
lane
the
change and
braking,
alerting.
the
Yeah,
lane
yeah.
change. There's a camera right here, so there's another camera if you look over here. There's a camera here. This camera here. This
So
one is monitoring me. That camera is monitoring the driver
mate,
the
I
whole
don't
time.
know. I don't know in terms of civil liberties how you allow this, especially as a pedigree motoring
Well,
journalist,
this
how
one
you
didn't
allow
have
these things.
it.
Why don't you call these things out? Why don't you criticize these things more?
No, I'm just telling you now. But the thing is, there are some
No, but
cars. It
that's a
wasn't. It
featurette.
wasn't.
That's a
It
featurette.
wasn't.
Take a photo
It's a
and put it
feature.
up.
It wasn't in this car, but in some cars, I recall. I can't remember which one. But when you start them up, sometimes you do get a data agreement on the screen. So sometimes it does come up with, do you agree, you know, for data collection or whatever. This one didn't do that. But what they would say is, if you put it to Polestar, Volvo, whoever, what they would say is that is an internal system that is not sharing that data. That's what they would say. It's only monitoring you for safety. So that's what it's doing. So
What
what it does
safety?
is
What safety?
so basically, like for example, yesterday when I was driving and I got to around the 2 hour mark, it kept sending me messages here telling me to take a break and saying,
Can you statistically can you tell me how many people fall asleep at the wheel around the world?
I don't have that stat with me.
That's an interesting stat.
To be fair, it is a dangerously high amount of people that has happened to. You know,
Where?
most recently there was an accident in Oman. It was I saw on the interweb, and there was an Emirati guy that drove into an Omani guy, and he was clearly on the wrong side of the road. And apparently he'd been driving nonstop for 24 hours. So one can only assume that he fell asleep. You know, so I mean, I'm making an assumption. To be fair, I'm making an assumption. I don't know, but you know,
No, you
that
say
is
that, but I'd like to know. Okay, let's say just UK. What are because you know the what's it called, the demystifying of all of these things is sort of like debunking. What is the
debunking.
stat? I mean, like if three people fall asleep at the wheel,
Yeah.
every 10
But,
years, then
but
it's
yeah,
a
but to be fair, the consequence. You remember that time a few years ago here in the UK, a guy was in a Land Rover. He fell asleep. He came off a bridge and he went onto a railway line with a
vaguely
pulling a
remember
thing.
that.
Yeah, and that led to quite a lot. I mean, I don't know if it was led to death, but it certainly led to a derailment and stuff like that. So, yeah, the consequences of this are pretty catastrophic. So one could argue that, yeah, it is a feature. I mean, I'm not in any sense condoning that there's a camera there watching me, but
No,
the
but the
fact is,
camera, but that's what I'm saying. It's insidious. They put it in for one thing, but actually it's collecting data about where you are,
well,
where
the
you're
whole car's
going.
doing that. The whole car's doing that. The
Yeah,
whole
I
car's
know,
doing it.
but
But then
that's why
so
I
is the
say,
phone. But so is
huh?
the phone doing that.
No, no, I understand, but at what point are yours? You see, we don't have any we don't really have any consumer advocacy in this country. Okay,
Mm.
right? Yeah, I mean, we used to have magazines like Which and all this, that, the other. We still, I mean, it still exists, but really, people like you, journalists, well, there's not that many left either. Yeah, are
Yeah.
the ones that should be saying, well, hang on, this targets civil liberties. This does. I don't think people make too much of a fuss of these things anymore. I think people just go with the flow.
No, to be honest, they don't. And this is the thing, is because we are carrying a phone around with us the whole time. And at the end of the day, if you are that person that is so concerned about your privacy and your data, then you wouldn't even have a phone. At the end of the day, when people talk about cars that are tracking you, I say, well, the cars are a secondary device. Your phone is tracking you the whole time. It's listening to you the whole time, and it's tracking you the whole
Yeah,
time.
but
So that's a
the
whole other
car.
level.
I know, but
Now,
then why
if you
aren't
don't
you?
want your car
No,
to
no.
basically, if you don't want your car to track you, you need to get a car that is older than 10, 15 years
Well,
old.
no, but
As simple as that.
here's the thing. I mean, you make an argument about the car being a secondary device, right? There are some private spaces in the world where you expect not to be tracked. Toilets. I'll give you that's an easy example, right?
Yeah.
A
Well, you'll be
car,
tracked there, but you won't be watched there.
correct, and a car, but you're being watched inside your car. A car
I'm,
is meant to
I'm
be
technically being watched.
a car is a private space
Yeah.
for two purposes: for conveyance. A car is called a conveyance; it's to take you from
Yeah.
one place to another place. But it used to be a place of entertainment because you have an
Yeah.
entertainment system in there. It's your
Yeah.
extension of your house. It's like a living room that moves. Yeah. And I would not like to be tracked in my own living room. Now, you could say, look, your phone is with you all the time, it's constantly tracking you, right? Yeah. It's constantly listening to you. But I'm trying to make an argument for the fact I'm trying to support you in the sense that we should all drive classic cars,
We should. Well, no, it depends on. Look, like you said,
analog cars.
like you hinted at earlier. For a lot of people, this isn't an issue. A lot of people have just gone on with
Well, I
it.
didn't
For a lot
hint.
of
I
people,
was
they're like,
obvious. I just said
yeah.
it.
So for a lot of people, like it's not. A lot of people like this, right? I get into this car and I'm like, why doesn't it have a rear window? A lot of other people will get into the car and they'll be like, oh, cool, it doesn't have a rear window. Oh, cool, it has a digital mirror. Oh, cool, it does this. Oh, cool, it tells you the size of all the planets. I mean, I don't know why it does that, but for example, if I can go onto here and if I go into ambient, if you look at that now, you know, it it's showing you the sun, and then it shows you Mercury, and it's telling you the average temperature, the day length, the diameter, the gravity. Why do I need this information?
To
And
distract you, to
I've got a little
distract.
pole star. Look, I've got a
To,
little pole star flying across the screen there.
right,
So
right. So you're.
none of this stuff is necessary. But for a lot of people, no. Again, here's
It's
the other thing.
gimmicky. It's gimmicky.
Going back to what you're saying about analog cars, as we move away from the enjoyment of just getting into a basic car, switching it on, operating the clutch and the gearbox, as that disappears, they're trying to put other things into cars
Yeah.
that will capture your
Create
imagination
experience.
instead. Yeah.
Yeah, they're replacing the actual experience with a fake experience, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's how I see it, right? I mean, it's all
Yeah.
very well to have a screensaver running along, or if you remember with the Honda E, they had like an aquarium kind of thing along the
You had an
whole,
aquarium in there. You could set up a wallpaper in there. You could play.
and that's
You could
fine
plug your games
as
console in there.
decorative stuff. That's fine, but interactive stuff, you don't want that really. You just want to
Yeah.
drive your car. So this
No, but
is
this is the thing. That's what like you and I might want, and I might want. But
no,
this is
but
the
there
thing.
are other
This is the whole
companies.
lot.
No. So in contrast, there are other. So for example, the Ferrari Roma has been replaced by the Ferrari. What
Roma
is it?
facelift.
Yeah, no, it's actually a new car. Now, what is it called?
It's a facelift, man.
Well, what is
I
it
can't
called?
remember.
What's it?
I have no idea. I've lost
Well,
track of
anyway,
the name.
my recollection
It's
is
a facelift.
When the Roma came out, it had sort of like an integrated,
Yeah.
but that's designed for driving experience.
Yeah.
You know, with so the passenger can feel the driving experience. The actual driver of the car has a.
If anybody out there is watching this and can
These are
remember,
stupid
if
little
you can remember what the
lifestyle.
name is, put it in the comments. Yeah. But yeah,
These are
yeah. I mean,
lifestyle distractions in the
yeah, yeah,
Polestar.
yeah. And also
Can you
Ferrari,
imagine that in a
interestingly.
Ferrari? Can you imagine the Ferrari showing you the different planets? No.
I can actually. I can. The way things are going, I can. But although
No.
having said that, Ferrari is dialing back. For example, it's putting more buttons back into their cars.
Mm.
They made a commitment to do that. So there is that element of it. But yeah, I mean, going back to the whole thing about what do you want from your car? Because for a lot of people, they don't really care. They just want to get in the thing and let them take it from point A to point B. So a lot of people out there, as horrifying as this might be to others, it's actually, Huxley Automotive says, no one cares about the new Ferrari.
I
Fair
do.
enough.
I think they're beautiful. I think they're wonderful cars. I think anyone who slags off Ferraris is slagging off a legendary brand and a legendary car
What's
maker.
hello to North London Rides. What's the F40 successor thing? Was it F80 now or whatever?
It's not the F40 successor. It's the F70. It's the
Yeah, the end
it's the
of
La
the
Ferrari.
no, the La Ferrari successor. What's
Yeah, it's
that
the
F80?
F80. F80.
So that just looks like a flattened chapel.
The F80. Now,
It just looks like a flattened chapel. Let's
I
be
actually
absolutely
don't
honest, you know?
I don't get people who don't like it because that is natural evolution of a Ferrari. I mean, yeah, of course it
It's
doesn't look like an
not. It's
F40.
just. It looks
It
like a
doesn't look like
flattened
an
chapel.
F40,
Seriously,
but
it looks like
an
it's something
F40.
you should be wearing on your foot.
I think it's one of those things that if you stand next to it, you get it.
Yeah, probably. It probably has
Um,
great presence.
yeah, but um,
It probably
the
gives great presence.
no, but I think it looks great because it looks different. It's you know because they're going with that kind of that.
Huxley is backtracking. They're like, oh, now first of all, they're like, I don't care about Ferraris. Now, like, I like Ferrari, but new cars. Oh, I see what you mean. You mean you like Ferrari, but you don't like the new ones, right? Get it. I'm
Yeah,
with you.
but in 20 years there'll be old ones and you'll like them.
Maybe,
But that's
or
what
maybe
happens with Ferrari.
maybe the
One of
next
the good
generation
things,
will. You know?
one of the good things about Ferrari, one of the good things about Porsche, one of the good things about Mercedes-Benz, these older brands, not these fucking, not these newer,
We'll bleep that.
not the newer brands, right? Yeah, is because of that pedigree. They actually have tweaked this design thing. You look at a
Yeah.
car, you know you look at an F80. If it didn't have any badges on, you'd say, yeah, that's a Ferrari. You know what I mean? Um, if you
I don't know, man. When you talk about what's the SUV that Ferrari have got now?
Puro
I can't
Sangue.
remember. Pura sangue,
No,
pura
Puro
sangue.
Sangue, which
And then
means
and
pure
then
blood.
and then Toyota has come out with an SUV in
No, it
Japan.
doesn't. No, no,
It
no, 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 no,
does.
no.
It
Don't
does.
compare. Don't
It
compare.
looks just the
Don't
same,
compare.
if
No,
not better.
if
And
you're Ray
honestly,
Charles, if you're Ray Charles, it looks
it'll
the same.
drive better. It'll last
No,
longer.
no,
You
no.
can
I
get into the
remember.
Toyota and you could drive
I
around
I
the world and you
I
would never break
remember
down.
an advert that you'll remember. It was a printed advert in a
Yeah,
newspaper about 25 years ago. You'll remember it and I'll remember it. Is they were comparing the Hyundai Coupe to a 456. It was a black and white
yes,
advert in a
yes, I remember that.
newspaper.
Yeah,
Do you remember?
yeah,
Oh, a
yeah,
Hyundai.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Now
yeah, yeah. That was
stand
cool.
next to a Hyundai Coupe
Yeah,
and stand
yeah,
next to a 456.
yeah,
It's nothing. Okay, from if you squint from 100 meters away, if you squint, every
yeah,
car looks the same.
yeah, yeah. But you remember the 406 Coupe? They used to say that was a poor man's Ferrari. It's designed by Pininfarina. It was
The
beautiful.
Peugeot
Peugeot
406
406
Coupe.
Coupe. Yeah, that was
Right.
beautiful. Yeah, but the
Yeah,
thing is,
no.
the Hyundai. I mean, the 456. Okay, it's disappeared into collections. The Hyundai Coupe is ending up in the street racing community, all modified with
No, but what
neon
I'm
lights
saying
and
is,
spoilers and all the rest of it.
I'm only jabbing you at your assertion that the Toyota looks a bit like a Puro Sangue. Yeah, it's got four
It does.
wheels and it's got from a
It
distance
does.
from 200 meters away. If they were both red, you wouldn't necessarily know. I get that, right?
Not
Yes,
all, but the thing is, not only does it look like it or look even better, but it will outperform it in every real world sense. That's the other thing. You know, it
well,
will.
this is another thing. You know, as you know, I smoke a cigar from or two from time to time, and we're always comparing like Cuban cigars and
Occasionally,
non-Cuban cigars. Huh?
occasionally.
Occasionally, so one of my comparisons with Cuban cigars are sort of like considered like the top end. Yeah, we say the comparison between Ferraris and Toyotas. So your example just now is an apt example, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
a Toyota will start every day, it will deliver, it
yeah,
will take you everywhere. It's economical, it's perfect. Yeah. A Ferrari, well, used to, well, not now, but like 20 years ago, a Ferrari would break down from time to time. Yeah, you'd be standing
yeah.
next to it, but it still looked better. It put a bigger smile on your face. Which one would you drive? Yeah. So horses for courses, and the only horse that you should ride is the one that has the horse on the front. That's the prancing horse.
Yeah, I mean, you could say that about Maserati, for example. Like Maseratis, I used to say, like, they will break down, they will be unreliable, but hey, you look good with a Maserati, right? But then the latest ones have kind of lost that. If you go back to the previous quadriporter, for
Yeah,
example, I'd still have one of those because they look so damn cool, even
I
though
read
it's
about
unreliable as
Maserati.
anything.
I read about it. Apparently, one of the reasons Maserati quality went down is they made these very affordable leasing structures in the USA for people to have Maseratis. So basically, it's not, I won't say dumbing down, a cheapening down of brand,
Yeah.
basically. A cheapening down of brand, yeah. But really, if you want nostalgia, you get like a Quattroporte from the 80s or 90s.
I've just got a shout out Boxing 0161. I'm watching this live sat in my Mark IV Supra. Hey,
Well, he's
I
not.
agree.
He's not
Love
sat.
driving the old stuff.
He's not sat in his Mark IV Supra. He's sitting. It's the past participle. It's a very chabby way of saying, "Oh, I'm sat." Even
Sat. Well, I'm sat in
BBC
a
News put it up.
Polestar 4 right now.
I'm sat in. I'm not sat in. I am
At one,
sitting in.
at one point, I used to be sat in a Mark II
It's
Celica
very
Supra
chabby. Well, because there's chabbiness.
A60.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm
That
not
was
being
a
sorry.
car.
I'm just saying it's just wrong. I'm sat. Everyone does it.
Well,
I don't do it though.
yay, sitting. Huxley Automotive agrees with you. There you go.
Fucking hell. I like Huxley Automotive. Huxley Automotive. Well, it's not that I like people who agree with me, yeah, but he's amended his thing to liking Ferraris all of a sudden.
There you go. Yeah.
Very nice.
We are
But,
changing hearts and minds today through our Instagram live. That's what's happening right now. But
sitting in a sitting in a
but-
Polestar, charging it up
sitting in a-
electrically. Where else? What feeling do you get? Where would you like to be rather than being a Polestar being charged up?
well, I was saying, wasn't I? Well, I don't know if that was before or after you joined the feed, but as I was sitting here, I saw this Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT V8 drive past that way, and I was just reminiscing at all the great times I've had in those cars back in the UAE. And honestly, I'd be like, I'd switch places with that driver any day. You know what I mean? I'd be like, yeah, let's jump into a good old V8. Because honestly, that's what the thing is. This is what I was gonna say. So this car, this Polestar 4, is phenomenal in terms of its outright acceleration. Huxley Automotive, I'm standing next to one of the rarest Ferraris in the world right now. I love classic new. Man, what you have to tell us now? You can't just leave us. You can't just leave us sitting. You have to tell us now which Ferrari you're standing next to. Anyway, what I was gonna say was that this Polestar 4 will do 0 to 62 miles per hour in 3.7 seconds. That's what some supercars could barely manage a few years ago. Now, I've done it. I've tried it.
Context? Can I give you context?
Yeah,
My SLS V8, naturally aspirated, its time was 3.8 seconds.
there you go. And here's the thing.
Well,
When
it's
you
fine.
would have accelerated in your Mercedes, and even if it was even a bit slower, wouldn't matter. But when you accelerated in your Mercedes, you would have had sound. You would have had drama. You would have had the gear changes.
I had people
You would have had
crapping
the
themselves sitting
sensation.
next to me.
Yeah. When I accelerated in this, here's the sum total of what happened. That was it.
That's like 911
Yeah.
911 turbos, right? Yeah.
And after doing it twice, I didn't want to do it anymore because it hurt my neck. And I was like, well, I didn't get any sound. I didn't get any drama.
It's not sensory. But as you say, we live in a world where you just want to get over the bumps very quickly and get to where you want to go very quickly, and that's
Which
it.
is basically what this will do. That's what this will do. This will just get you around. No, is that something else there? What's going on there? So, I don't know how to join a third person to the vid. Huxley said, add me to the vid. I don't know how to do that, but anyway.
Let me get off. You can see what he's doing.
Yeah. Are you gonna show us what you've got?
Beg your pardon? Just throw me off the feed. Throw me off
Yeah,
the feed.
I don't know. I'm talking to Huxley Automotive now. It's like, are you able to show us what you're standing next to? Okay, we'll wait for them to reply. But yeah, I mean, so there's the point. The point is that these cars are incredibly competent, incredibly fast, 4-wheel drive,
They're
wouldn't
not
break
competent.
traction.
They're not cars.
You put your foot down. They're
They're
technically
not
still
cars.
cars.
They're products now. They're like they're like washing
Yeah, but the
machines and
car is a car.
dishwashers.
A car is a carriage. It's still a carriage. It's still a car. So
Can you
that's what it is.
compare? Can you compare a Casio watch to an expensive Rolex? They both tell the time. They are two
Yeah.
different. They are two different things. Correct?
Okay. Let me give you a break for a minute. Hang on. Let me see if I can
I'll
do this.
drop off the feed. Let him drop on. I'll
Yeah.
drop off.
You drop off, and then I'll see if I can. So I think Huxley Automotive. I think you have to do an invite or a request to add. Go live with Huxley Automotive. Would that work? Does that work? What's happening? This is just for the sake of seeing.
No,
So
I'm
we
on.
got you. Hello. Hope you're enjoying this video. Make sure to hit like, share, and subscribe if you're not already doing so. And support independent automotive journalism channels like mine. You can do that at patreon.com, coffee.com, or taking out a subscription right here on YouTube. Or you know what? Better still, you can go and buy my books. I've got 3 books out now. They're all on Amazon. They're all available to buy. More details on this are in the description, but buying any of these books will certainly help. Thanks so much for watching. Hello, how are you?
Good, man. Good. How's it? You know,
Hello, nice to meet you.
I saw the thing start and I thought, it's just going to be some bullshit, just guys talking crap. And it wasn't. You guys were
Yes,
entertaining.
it is basically that.
Yeah, it's like the old clubhouse. I won't be long.
Yeah.
I'm just yeah. I just thought since you were talking, I love Ferraris. I think they're awesome. So you got that wrong. But I think the fact that we can't even remember what the name of a new Ferrari is
That's my
sort of
problem.
testament.
That's
That's my
my
problem.
problem.
And
Yeah,
it'll do 0 to 62 in like a fraction of a blink. And who cares,
yeah.
man? Who cares?
Who
Yeah.
cares?
So we're just cleaning. But I'll show you
Yeah.
only because we're on. And it's a bit of a look into what we are going. Yeah.
Tell
So
everybody who you are and where you are.
yeah, I can't tell you where we are. We're in Northamptonshire, but yeah, we've got a little
Oh,
lockup here. But
oh,
we've got some nice stuff. So all
oh,
classics,
Alpha.
all classics.
Oh,
Oh, that's going to be
is that the
awesome.
BMW CS? Oh, wow,
Yeah, but it's
that
going
is
to be the
sweet.
first right-hand drive with an S54, so an E46 M3 swap. There's some
Oh,
nice stuff.
that's an
EV,
interesting
nice.
project. Those are quite fun, actually. To be fair, those are fun.
Yeah.
What do we got here?
So this
Looks like a 355. Is it 355?
348.
348. Awesome. Yeah, 348. There you go. 348. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, but one of 8 in the world.
A
So
1 of 8?
competition.
Oh, right. Oh, wow.
Gorgeous.
Manual gearbox. Awesome. Look at
Manual,
that.
yeah. All of them are
That's the way
manuals.
to do it. That's the way to do it.
Manual V12, best cars ever made. Manual V12, best cars. Manual V12,
Oh,
manual E500. Somebody said a Supra. There's a Mark III, and there's
Mark
some
3.
other stuff. But anyway, no, I love them.
That's
I love
nice.
them. Anyway, I'll jump off. Get the other dude back on because he
Before,
was super interesting.
so before you go, just tell everybody where they can find you and what you do.
Well, Huxley Automotive. We also own a offshore automotive, so we build some Restomod cars and stuff. But Huxley Automotive is just secure storage and transport, and it's just a new little thing. We've got the space, so we thought we'd just do it. But yeah, we're on huxleyautomotive.com and on Instagram. But relatively, it's been around for a little while, but we're changing things up a bit. But then Offshore Automotive is the other brand that has a bit more traction, and that's our company, and we build those sorts of things.
That's cool. That's really
Those sorts
cool.
of things.
That's
Yeah.
really cool.
Cool.
That's
Anyway,
cool, man.
pleasure
Thank
to
you so
meet
much
you.
for
I've
joining
seen you
today.
around. But next time I see you, I'll bump into you properly and I'll introduce myself. I'm David Lane.
Awesome. Awesome.
And I'll say, how's it? Get the other dude
Oh,
back
thanks,
on.
man.
He was very interesting.
Thanks so much.
It was interesting listening to you guys.
All right, let's see if we can get Reza back on. Thanks so much for
Yeah.
joining us. Take care.
I don't know how to jump off.
Yeah, there you go.
There we are.
Right. So let's see now if we can. So I'm just trying to press the screen right now to try and make things happen. Nothing is really happening at the moment. So let me see if I can do this. And Reza, if you're still there, can you send in a request to see if you can rejoin? Although I'm seeing the second part of the screen is still valid. I'm still seeing the second part of the screen, so I don't know how that works. Remove from live video. Okay, right. Yeah. Cancel. That's okay. And then we can go and we can do that. Hopefully, we can get you back on. I'll go about another 10 minutes, I think. Then I have to go. I'm up to 63%.
What are we
What did you
talking
make of
about,
that, man?
life or battery power?
The charging? What did you make of that? What some cool
I,
cars he had there?
I,
Bloody hell!
so it's David. I enjoyed that. Shout out to David
Yeah,
at the Huxley Automotive. Excellent stuff. Actually,
yeah.
I mean, very tease worthy. They're all covered up, but people of your age, Shazad, know that those are the classics. I saw Diablo
You
there.
can say our age. You know what I mean? You can say our age. Come on. You have less hair
You're
than I
quite
do.
senior. You're quite senior to me. So, which is why I don't go off on a tangent too much with you. Right? I know my lane. I stay within my lane. Yeah. But I spotted a Diablo there. I spotted Diablo,
Yeah,
and
yeah. Look like
when I spot a Diablo, because Diablo is like target for us in terms of age. Like, well, you're about, well, quite senior. But
shut it,
when I was so
shut it.
Diablo first launched in 1990. I was 18 years old, and that's all I wanted was a Diablo. And then I think Diablo was launched in so many different guises, but made famous by the Jamiroquai video "Cosmic Girl." Obviously, remember he was
That's
driving
right.
the lilac
That's
one.
right.
And
Which actually,
I could tell you a little observation. When you watch
yes,
that video, he's got no
yeah,
windscreen.
yeah. I was gonna say the same thing. There you go.
But that video, now going back to that video, relevantly to what David was showing you, and actually
Yeah.
no, in the video they had a 355. What he was showing you was a 348.
There was, yeah. He was 348, yeah.
348. Uh, for all sorts of reasons, I briefly owned a 348 for 3 months without ever
There you go.
driving it. Without ever driving it, it was a yellow
Without
one.
driving it.
Well,
That's
yeah, for
weird. Why
all
wouldn't you
sorts of
drive it?
reasons. Let's not go into those reasons. But
Okay, fine.
for 3 months, I owned it, and I never drove it. But I used to find, especially in the nights, I found the yellow color horrible on
Yeah,
Ferraris. Yeah, they call it giallo in Italian, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, hello.
I never, but that is the original Ferrari color is yellow, of course, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Now,
yeah.
do you want me to tell you a Ferrari story?
That's why the
So,
badge is, yeah. Yeah, go for it.
so, shall I give you a Ferrari story, which very few people know? And when I say very few people, people at Ferrari don't know this story, right? Yeah. I think I've shared this with you before. Why is what is the origins of the yellow color on the original Ferraris? Can you have a
Uh,
guess?
Go on. I mean, I'm assuming it's got something to do with the original badge because it's got
Originally,
yellow on it.
Enzo Ferrari was very inspired by an Italian count who lived in their locality. Who I
Yeah.
think this is a World War One. He flew
Isn't so, isn't
a
that his shield?
biplane, a
Wasn't that
yellow
his shield?
biplane. Now,
Yeah,
I
right.
don't know. I'm giving you a very vague story,
Yeah.
but it's a vague origin story. But I'm going further than that. And this count had a yellow biplane with the prancing horse on the side. Something to do with either Lombardy or I think it was sort of like a royal crown, whatever it may be. Yeah. But why yellow? Why was it? Because in the north of Italy, where there is more
The car
agriculture.
that's just there's a V8 just started up next to me. It's a Maserati Gran Turismo.
Turn the camera around. Let's have a look.
Well, the thing is, I don't know what's going on here because I'm right next to a We Buy Any Car, and I wonder if somebody's just sold their car.
Yeah,
I wonder if somebody just sold their Maserati.
you know who drives
to
those
Gran
Maserati Gran
Turismo
Turismos? There's normally
to
chavvy
We Buy Any
gangsters.
Car. Why would you
Well,
give it to We Buy Any
you see,
Car?
this is the problem I have. Here's the problem I have, right? Okay, people of a certain age, including myself and you, who are far more senior, yeah. We look at cars. We look at cars based on who's driving them now,
Yeah,
right? So all knob ends drive Uruses.
Urus,
Now, Urus
Lamborghini,
or Lamborghini Urus
Lamborghini Urus.
by its own merit is a great car. I'm sure. I'm sure it is, right? But
Yeah, it's like a
because
Bentley. It's essentially a Bentley Bentayga.
it's like what BMWs used to be about, what Audis became about. It's the type of people that drive it kind of start defining the characteristics of that car, and that makes you like them or dislike them. I'm a very opinionated person. That's why I'm like, but
We've
in
just
that,
been joined. We've just been joined by Mr. Brown Car Guy. What?
he's the one. He's the one who's harvesting your Patreon memberships.
Mr. Brown Car Guy. Oh well, I'll just take that as imitation is the best form of flattery.
Huxley,
So
David says I'm 50. I'm
yeah,
50. For kook.
for cook,
David,
for cook, for cook. Yeah, yeah.
David. Both of the individuals you're watching on the screen right now are older than you,
Yes.
significantly older than you.
Oh,
So
not say I watch it.
he's very much a fucking hell. Again, I use French. He's at the generation where he likes Bentley blowers.
No. I've driven a Bentley
Um,
Blower.
I don't frankly don't get it. It's okay. It's amusing when it drives past you on the motorway, going into Paris.
It's
You know, but
it's a very difficult car to drive. I literally drove
I've
it
seen
down the
them.
road, around the roundabout, and I drove it into a car park, and I stopped, and then I heaved a big sigh of relief because
Yeah,
it was
it's
a
not
really
competition.
hard car to
This
drive.
is not a competition about what you drove and what you did. You're a motoring journalist. You're meant to have driven everything, but these days you just drive crap shit cars. What you need to do is get into slightly more exotic. And when I say exotic, I don't mean like again the chavvy Bugattis and Koenigsegg's, etc.
Oh, I
Right?
want to drive the car. I want to drive the car that
You know
David's
what?
got under. You know
The
that Porsche he
classiest
had.
car. Okay,
You know
okay.
you know.
I'm giving you a shout out so
Yeah.
that people can go and watch this video. Right? I was lucky to be there, and I was doing the video work for you on this car. The classiest car I've seen you drive in ages, and this was about 2.5, 3 years ago. Was the white 500 SL? Was it the 500 SL?
Yeah, but you missed out on the content I did in Dubai.
Forget the content.
I did.
Forget useless content.
Mercedes
I'm paying you
Pagoda,
a
Porsche
compliment. And
928,
I'm paying you a
Outlaw
compliment, and you're cutting the
911,
legs off the compliment, right? Yeah. That
and a
was it. The
6.9 Mercedes.
which one? Which one was it?
6.9 Mercedes.
Which one? No, but 6.9. Are we talking about S
Yeah.
class?
Yeah, S class 450 SEC 6.9 SEL. Sorry.
450
Yeah,
SEL.
the old
Wow.
78.
1978.
Yeah.
You see now,
That
so
was a car. That was a beast.
so those are the kind of cars I believe you. When I say test driving, you should be writing about in the UK. Even what David was showing you just now, Diablos. Like
Yeah.
I promise you, the Diablo. There's a Diablo resurgence going on right now.
To be
People are
honest, like this is a question, and it's a question not just for you, but a question for all the people out there viewing it, and a question for people that consume content from Brown Car Guy. Is like, should I
yeah,
do more
David, I think it
classic
was a
stuff?
W116. I think it was a W116.
Probably, yeah. I don't remember the code names, but it's a 1978 Brown.
Designed
If you go,
by legendary Mercedes designer Bruno Sacco.
Yeah, if you go onto the channel and you just search for Milli content from me, then you'll see it there.
No. Forget
Bunch
that
of car.
media content. Look at the
No,
SL,
that's
the white
that's where I
SL.
drove it. That's where I drove it. But anyway, but the point being is, yeah. So the question that I wanted to ask was that should I feature more classic cars? Now the trouble is over here, that's a little bit more difficult because of insurance purposes. That's why in the UAE it's so much easier because in the
Why is it
UAE
more
the car is
difficult?
insured rather than here.
At a technical level, why can't you have an insurance policy that covers you to drive classic cars here?
Yeah, well, I'd have to become a trader then. Because I'd have to get a trade insurance policy. I don't want to register as a trader.
No problem. You should get it. In fact, I can probably tell you a person that could probably help you get it. David, who's on the feed right now, would probably be able to get you or give you some guidance because
Yeah.
if he's storing cars.
We could look at it because there's also like the temp insurance that you can get, so temp cover and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But anyway, the point is that like if people want to see more of that content, then they need to let me know, and if that's the case, then we can look into doing that, because to be fair, I do enjoy driving that stuff, honestly. I do. I
By
mean,
the way, my
That Mercedes,
recollection,
that 6.9 Mercedes, for example. Oh my God, that was a car that I was not expecting to particularly be enamored with, right? And I totally fell in love with that.
but
I'm not
dude,
even a Mercedes
every
guy, as you know.
Mercedes,
I fell in love with that car.
no, but you're a BMW fellow, right? Yeah, but driving a Mercedes is a definitive experience. There's a certain feeling to driving a Mercedes, if you know what I
Yeah,
mean, which is different to driving a BMW. I'm talking about classic cars, I'm talking from the 80s and 90s, yeah, even the noughties. A Mercedes feels a certain way, if you know what I mean. The steering wheel is a certain size, the
yeah.
the analog feedback is a certain way. A BMW just feels like a tighter, slightly sportier car with the ergonomics, etc., etc. But you should. It was known for its ergonomics. You should drive this.
Shout out to Huxley Automotive. We'll probably take you up on that soon. Hope to catch up with you soon. Thank you so much for that.
Where are they based, by the way?
What did he say? Northamptonshire, I think he said, didn't he? If I recall correctly.
Are you going to take the train up there, or are you going to drive something exotic up there, like a Diablo SV?
Well, catch a lift with you, innit?
Or Ubering it up there?
Oh dear, oh dear.
No,
All
no,
right,
no, no.
I've got to move in about 2 minutes, and I've only got 71%. I was hoping for a bit more than that, but anyway, but I have to go because I have to go and pick some people up. But yeah, in 2 minutes I have to go. So yeah, anyway, Northamptonshire. Yeah, he just confirmed. Reza,
Northants.
awesome. Thanks so much for joining today and
Can I
lighting
give-
up
can I give
everybody's
you a thought?
lives.
Can I give you a thought as you drive
You
away?
can have a parting thought.
Yeah, stop driving shit cars. Get into better stuff, man.
This is a 71.5 grand car. Thank you very much. You know.
All right, take care. Bye bye.
All
Signing
right,
out.
take care, everyone. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for joining us, and we'll do this again very, very soon. Thanks so much. Take care, everyone. Shout out time, guys. Thank you so much. Hey, if you enjoy my content, why not get involved? Buy me a coffee. You can do that at either of these links, or if you're watching on YouTube, buy me a thanks or take out a membership. It all helps. It really does.